That's good. Again, proud of our guys, really happy for those guys, and a lot of people stuck with us to get a good win, and it was reasonably good in a lot of phases. We didn't start great on offense, and maybe didn't run it great, but as we got in rhythm, I think some passing set up some run. A couple of plays we need to clean up. Defensively, it was pretty competitive fighting. They made some plays on us, but for the most part, we made them work for it and made them earn it. And kicking was solid, so it was a good win. It was a solid win, and we had some good prep coming in, and I was really excited to see if our guys would show up and play hard. And like I said, just proud of the way they attacked and played today.
I guess how big of a win is this, considering Indiana was 11-16 against Penn State? You guys need to win to get back above 500. Just the significance of this overall.
And again, I think I got a lot of respect for Bill and what he's done, and they're still very talented. They might have some issues with some depth to some degree, but I think it's more just how they manage practice. He's done a great job leading and managing that team, so it's a prideful group. We knew that coming in. Talked about their defense, that they weren't going to give you things; they were going to make you work for it. And I know offensively, they've always I thoroughly enjoy watching their offense and how he attacks and what he does with his players. But we didn't make. We got to win games like this, and we're a good enough team too. It was nice we played, not great, perfect, but we did play good and solid. But we didn't make it like it was. And to us, for example, next week we'll have an opportunity to go do something that's never been done because this team has never beaten the team we're getting ready to play. So each week it's new and unknown, and we didn't try to get into. I think our guys are best if we just keep it simple, day by day, not coach speak, and just talk about what we need to do from short term instead of big pictures and historical perspectives. But we got to win games like this. We want to build a program that's going to be competitive in this league. Those guys are going to be in this league. They're one of the standards you shoot for. And it was nice to go toe to toe and play a decent game today.
Kevin, they ended up with 70. They ended up with 70 rushing yards. Talk a little bit about what the guys did up front defensively, maybe.
I think we were a lot better in our communication, the way we practiced and prepped it, giving our kids a chance to just line up and be a little cleaner and fundamentally sounder. Played a lot better team D with linemen being where they're supposed to and backers and safeties fitting appropriately, and then they played hard. That stat's probably a little skewed because of maybe some sacks on the quarterback.
And the punt snap.
But again, we did play a little bit harder and cleaner on defense.
How important was it just maybe for these guys getting the connection of having a good week of practice and preparation and then going out and putting together a performance where it seemed like defense and offense were backing each other up pretty well through the whole game?
And again, that's why I do think, again, Zach, good point. We are talking about, again, I don't know if we played great or overwhelmingly awesome, but we did. We were pretty solid as a team. There's a lot of things we got to clean up, keep working on. We're still green in a lot of places and got a lot of growth and maturity, and a lot of things as coaches we got to correct and fix, our players as well. But I think our offense, when they get going, gives a little energy to the team, helps the defense. And then the defense, when they made a few plays, you could even tell the energy from the offensive kids leaving the field. So we got to play as a team. And I talked this past week to our guys a lot about, I'm tired of this thought of like I'm this offensive head coach, because you're not. You're the head coach. And we're going to start playing defense and kicking offense a little bit more. Not that I got all the answers, but just a little bit more the way I want the O to look and the D to look. And we got some guys buying into what we're going to look like as a team. And we'll have another phenomenal challenge next week at East Lansing.
Kevin, can you talk about Trey, who's been sitting for quite a while, but yet you knew right when to bring him in, and every time he touched the ball, he scored?
Well, there's some things in the box we were doing, and we need to get it out there a little bit more. It's a little delicate. We got egos involved, issues, and everything. I'm reading about this week, some team had an issue in a class that made national news. So, you can't do anything without it being a story. And, I got a couple, I got Cam, three of them that we like and respect, and we'd like to get to the point of trying to take advantage of all of them. And not that we're going to play all three, but like Trey has a knack with some feet, and Nate and Cam have played well, in the throw game, and so we're still trying to juggle. And we didn't put a lot of, again, open data like what we got to do at quarterback. It's like, how do we get a run game going? How do we stop the run? What does our team need? But I do think as we move, we got to keep working on. I don't really study Northwestern, but they've done a neat job because Coulter's a different dynamic than the other kid that they play. Yet Coulter will go 10 or 14 and throw for 150, 80 yards. He's still a throwing guy, and that's what we want to get to train time. So how does that evolve? We're still working on it, but I think it says a lot for Trey, because when he came in, it was scoring plays. It was critical plays. There was not one play he was in that was, this one doesn't count. It's a 2-point get play, and we're up by 5. His first play of the game. He's been standing around for 30, 4, 5, 6, 8 minutes, whatever it was, of game time. And now it's your first play. And by the way, we need this play. Then we come back down again. It's a touchdown. And then trying to manage the clock at the end of the game when the box is going to get loaded, and you got to do percentage passing or take advantage and make them defend everyone. And he as a runner just makes us a little bit more difficult that way. But the other guy throws really well. And it's just, we just got to, there's no issue, there's no controversy. We just got as coaches keep figuring it out.
Kevin, the impact you're getting, the performance you're getting from Bennett on defense, can you talk about that?
Again, like him, I had from, not surprised. Pretty smart, pretty heady, pretty grounded. He got beat out there a couple times and didn't take it. And he's got a lot of football in front because he's not close to what he can be. So he's and with that being said, as he goes, I think it's helping Mike Hunt, because I'm seeing Mike start to make some competitive. He got beat a couple today too. I mean, Robinson had 170 yards and 12 catches, but again, we made him work for him. And so I think Tim has impacted the perimeter of our defense, and we still got a lot of work to do, but he's helped us so much.
Coach, going for 4th and 3rd early, is that a matter of wanting touchdowns instead of field goals in this game?
Yeah, a little bit. And we were going to no play it and maybe take a timeout, and they lined up, but they didn't have an edge on their defense. Like, hey, we got it. And then they just kind of slanted, crashed it, didn't like it was a bonehead call. I mean, that was a bad call by me. We were going to like, hey, no play it. And my thought was, let's take a timeout and then take 30 seconds or a minute and really think, should we kick it? Should we go for it? When we lined up fast, we basically looked like we had outflanked them, thought we had leverage to run around it. It was, I was very frustrated with myself there for quite a while.
The one thing that's been lacking, obviously, here for a long time is the defense not making big plays when they needed to. But today, it seemed like it was one big play after another. Can you just talk about how the defense stepped up that one?
Again, I think we did a really good job as coaches cleaning up some stuff, getting them lined up, getting their eyes where they need to. They knew what they needed to do. And we talked a lot, when you practice, you take for granted who the guy is. But some of those guys they go against are pretty good. But because you know them every day, well, it's just so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so. Well, now you get in the game, you don't know the guy as well. All of a sudden, the aura of him makes him a little different than he is. And we talked a lot about, you do it every day against good players and you're a good player. Let's go do this. So for them to make some stops, some perimeter stops, to harass the quarterback, to fight, to scratch, proud of them. Proud of those coaches for putting a good plan together. Proud of the offense for staying positive with the defense with the offense, because we're not finger pointing or y'all got to do this or we got to do this. We talk about it as a total group, and it was again just really happy to see that, and not surprised. And at the same time, it's still going to be a bunch of work. We've been very inconsistent here. Once we do it, you don't see it. Once you do it, you don't see it. Good teams become really good because they repeat what they're capable of doing. What we saw today is what we're maybe capable of kind of playing like, but if we're going to start being good, we'll back it up with being the right kind of kids we need to be, having a good week, and getting better and going up East Lansing and trying to play hard again. Anything else?
Have to have your ability to run the ball?
Well, again, I think we did some stuff early, not by design, but we wanted to maybe just be a little, take some shots and move it around a little, and I think maybe kind of soften them up. And then they got into some coverage deals, and we kind of called them right. And then as they got a little tired, I think we blocked it better. And Tevin and Steve, I think the plays that Steven made right before half were pretty huge. I think those were a couple, 3 plays. I think we checked the pass down to him, a couple runs, and those were some plays in the big picture. And you look at his stats, it's a 10-7 game. I think it is at the time. Maybe not. I think that's what it was, 10-7. And they had missed a field goal, and then they missed it again. And we went down and worked it and got 3 points before half. And I think that was, again, much like Trey Roberson. Here's the guy that's a really good player, and he's doing okay, but some other guys are getting reps to have the right kind of attitude and take the field. That's why, again, I got a lot of respect for some of these kids. And like I say, we're starting to develop the mindset that you want. But what we have constantly shown is the ability, will you and can you back it up? So we got a great challenge this next week with Michigan State, and we'll take this one tonight and get these guys going tomorrow. Need to have a good week and good prep. Be our first road trip, so great challenge this week. Anything else?
One more question, Dennis.
How big was the play Kofi Hughes makes the catch? I think it puts you up 35-17, if I'm not mistaken. It seemed like that was, you guys were under control of that.
Good. Again, Cody had a big game. Kofi, again, we were trying to take some shots, throw some high percentage, mix the run. It was about 50-50 in our calls. I think we're 41 and 39 run pass, although I think some of those, maybe a couple of Nate's runs are passes that he scrambled around. So, but that was huge because, again, they could still, the 2-point play was used to make it a 7-point game. It was, well, then it got to an 11-point game. I remember it was an 11-point game. I kept saying, hey, they score, they're going for 2, and the defensive guys were saying they're not going to score. But, to get to that point just took a lot of stress off. And like I say, again, I don't think our kids were smiling on the sideline. Our kids weren't celebrating. They weren't going crazy in the locker room. We just wanted to come have a good week and go play well. Like I say, I'm proud they did. Thanks.